Okay, good morning, everyone. We have gathered today for the presentations on the occasion of National Education Day, which was on 11th of November. So we are right away, we'll start with the presentations. The first one to present will be Ajina Johnson.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, please enable the screen sharing.
Okay. Check now.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Good afternoon, teachers, presenters, and my dear friends. Today, I will be sharing a PowerPoint presentation on National Education Day. On 11th November, India celebrates National Education Day to commemorate the birth anniversary of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, the first Union Education Minister of India from 1947 to 1958. Azad was born in Mecca, Saudi Arabia in 1888, but his family relocated to Calcutta, now Kolkata, in order to provide him a better education. In 1912, Azad started publishing Al Hilal, a weekly that criticized British policies. After it was banned, he started another weekly, Al Baga, following which the British government banned him under the Defence of India regulations in 1916. Maulana Azad is credited with shaping modern education system of India. It was under his tenure that the first IIT, IISc, School of Planning and Agriculture, and the University Grants Commission were established. A brief history. Abul Kalam Muinuddin Ahmad bin Khairuddin al-Husseini Azad was an Indian scholar, Islamic theologian, independence activist, and a senior leader of the Indian National Congress during the Indian independence movement. He is commonly remembered as Maulana Azad. The word Maulana is an honorific meaning, our master, and he had adopted Azad as his pen name. His contribution to establishing the education foundation in India is recognized by celebrating his birthday as National Education Day across India. Next, education during post independence. During post India's independence, the learned turned their focus to education as they knew it would be a fundamental pillar in nation building. Speaking at All India Education on January 16, 1948, Abul Kalam had said, "We must not for a moment forget it is a birthright of every individual to receive at least the basic education without which he cannot fully discharge his duties as a citizen." Challenges ahead. An academician and a freedom fighter, he was given the charge of the education minister for Free India. At the time, India, though free, was reeling through the years of exploitation, and the nation was suffering from widespread illiteracy. Laying the foundation for an educated India, understanding the fundamental role education plays in the development of the nation, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, as the chairman of Central Advisory Board of Education, gave impetus to adult education and literacy. Not only did he lay emphasis on elementary education, but also propagated diversification of secondary education and vocational training, the man behind IITs, UGC, and other universities. The freedom fighter and visionary was responsible not only for streamlining the education system in the country, but also for seeing the the start of the first ever Indian Institute of Technology, IIT in India in 1951. The man was also responsible for setting up the Central Institute of Education, Delhi, which later became the Department of Education of Delhi University. The setting up of the University Grants Commission in 1953 are all credited to his vision. He was also the primary propagator of Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and Faculty of Technology of Delhi University, and a founder of Jamia Millia Islamia University. The purpose of National Education Day is on National Education Day, people of India assure themselves to carry forward the legacy of Maulana Azad, who had effected sea change in the education system 6 decades back. Thus, it is rightly quoted by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad: educationists should build the capacities of the spirit of inquiry, creativity, entrepreneurial, and moral leadership among students and become their role model. Thank you.
Okay, very good, Ajina. Next is Amrita. This is a video presentation by Amrita. Well done, Amrita. Next is Anisha.
Good afternoon, teachers. I'm going to share my screen now. Um, Ma'am, is my screen visible?
No, Anisha, you start sharing. Is there any problem, Anisha, in sharing?
No, ma'am, no, ma'am. Just 1 minute.
Okay, okay.
Ma'am, is it visible?
No, no, Anisha. Have you clicked on screen sharing?
Share code. There is some problem in this. There are a lot of options coming. So I'm getting
Shall we
confused
go
for
on to
this.
next girl? In the meanwhile, you can see. Next
Yes,
is
ma'am.
Angelina.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Are you trying to share your screen?
Angelina.
मैम मेरी स्क्रीन विजिबल है?
एंजेलिना अभी पहले तो विजिबल थी लेकिन अब नहीं है. Yes, it has started now.
Ma'am, is it visible now?
Yes.
Yes.
Good morning, respected teachers and my dear classmates. Today I'll be presenting a PowerPoint presentation on National Education Day. Before starting my presentation, I would like to quote some words by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad ji. Teaching by the tongue can be perspired, but by good deed can stay stronger. The contribution of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad to education in India is recognized by celebrating his birthday on November 11 as, as National Education Day across India. India is moving rapidly towards spreading education throughout all corners and levels of the nation. We must not for a moment forget it is the birthright of every individual to receive at least the basic education without which he cannot fully discharge his duties as a said Maulana Abul Kalam Azad in January 16, 1948, at the All India Education Conference. He emphasized educating the rural poor and girls. He also promoted adult literacy, universal primary education, free and compulsory education for all children up to the age of 14, girls' education, and diversification of secondary education and vocational training. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, the first education minister of India, of independent India, he was India's first vice president and also the first education minister of independent India from 1947 to 1958. Since 2008, this day is celebrated to commemorate the birthday of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad for his contributions in the field of education, national building, and institution building. Different campaigns and programs are organized on this day to spread awareness about education so that people can become aware of and attracted to education. He was a freedom fighter, journalist, and reformer and committed to building a nation through education. Contributions of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad served as the first education minister of independent India from 1947 until his death till February 22, 1958. During his tenure of 11 years, Azad promoted research in Eastern learning and literature and set up the three academies to develop the fine arts. He also started to work on the compilation of technical terms in Hindi on a large scale. Maulana Kalam, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad set up some important boards, commissions during his tenure that include the University Grants Commissions, All India Council for Technical Education, Kharagpur Education, the University Education Commission, the Secondary Education Commission. In order to promote education and culture in the country, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad ji also founded the Sangeet Natak Academy, Sahitya Academy, Kala Academy. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad advocated education for women and free and compulsory primary education for children up to the age of 14. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad also established and School of Architecture and Planning, Jamia Millia Islamia and IIT Kharagpur. Education is my birthright, but is it safe? With a large percentage of with a large percentage of Indian population living in poverty and with a literacy rate of just over 70%, it is imperative for the future development of India that children have access to education, safer education. To meet this great demand, many schools are overburdened and compromise on safety. Thus, more and more children are going to schools that are vulnerable to fire, floods, earthquakes, cyclones, pollution, food poisoning, and so on. Safer education must be provided if the dream of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad is to be fulfilled. Adult education. 11th of March 1948, the walls of Constituent Assembly of India were echoing with this speech of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. There is no doubt that the problem of education is as important as the child education. The education has for greater aims than merely teaching adults how to read and write. It is our duty to impart to adults an education which should develop their thinking faculty so that they are enlightened and enabled to take due interest in the affairs of a democratic state and society. In no walk of our national life can we progress without the considered and judicious cooperation of millions of our countrymen. Anyhow, nobody would delay the extreme importance of this work. What we have to see is how best the work can be accomplished in the shortest time. Thank you.
Okay, Angelina. Next is Anjali.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my
Yes,
screen is visible.
it is visible.
Okay, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am, and my dear friends. Today I am going to present my video clip on National Education Day.
Anjali, is it without any sound?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it without sound?
Ma'am, sound is there, ma'am.
No, but it is not audible.
Wait.
Only the clips are visible, but no sound is there.
Ma'am, it is audible.
No.
Anjali,
Yes.
share audio is off. Put it on.
Okay.
Anjali, are you trying?
Yes, ma'am, I'm trying.
Okay.
Ideas of non-violent civil disobedience and worked to organize the non-cooperation movement in protest of the 1919 Rowlatt Acts. He became
Ma'am, it is not working.
Okay. So we'll move on to the next girl. In the meanwhile, you can either try yourself or give it to somebody else to share.
Okay, ma'am.
Next, Anupriya.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, teachers and all my dear friends. Today I'm presenting a PowerPoint presentation on the topic National Education Day. The National Education Day or Rashtriya Shiksha Divas is celebrated on 11th of November every year to commemorate the birth anniversary of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, the first education minister of independent India, who served from 15th of August 1947 until 2nd of February 1958. About Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Azad was the first education minister of independent India from 1947 to 1958. He was born on 11th of November 1888 in Makkah, then a part of Ottoman Empire. Azad was an eminent Indian scholar and leader of the Indian National Congress during India's struggle for independence. He is known for making several significant contributions in the field of education. He was also awarded Bharat Ratna posthumously, India's highest civilian honor in 1992. Ministry of HRD's announcement. The Ministry of Human Resource Development announced on September 11, 2008, the ministry has decided to commemorate the birthday of this great son of India by recalling his contribution to the cause of education in India. Now, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad contribution to education. Maulana Azad, a freedom fighter, scholar, and an educationist, played an important role in developing the education system in independent India. He was the visionary behind IITS and IIS and School of Architecture and Planning. Some of the important boards or commissions that are set up by the Maulana Abul Kalam Azad during his tenure are University Grants Commission, All India Council for Technical Education, Kharagpur Institute of Higher Education, the Secondary Education Commission. Significance. Undeniable, education plays a significant role in the overall progress of the nation. National Education Day has a great significance because of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad's birth anniversary and the importance of the education system in the country. Thank you, ma'am.
Well made, Anupriya. Next is Aparna.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is it visible?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Good morning, respected teachers and my dear friends. I am going to start my presentation on the day of National Education Day. First is National Education Day. Every every year since 2008, November 11 is celebrated as Education Day to commemorate the birth anniversary of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Azad was independent India's first education minister. National Education Day is an annual observance in India to commemorate the birth anniversary of Maulana Nu, the first education minister of independent India. Next is Abul Kalam Azad. Abul Kalam Azad, original name Abul Kalam Gulam Muhyiddin, also called Maulana Abul Kalam Azad or Maulana Azad, born November 11, 1888 in Mecca, now in Saudi Arabia, died February 22, 1958, New Delhi. Islamic theologian who was one of the leaders of the Indian independence movement against British rule in the first half of the 20th century. He was highly respected throughout his life as a man of high moral integrity. Azad became a leader of the Khilafat movement, during which he came into close contact with the Indian leader Mahatma Gandhi. Next is why National Education Day is celebrated. November 11 has been celebrated as the National Education Day since 2008. The date has been chosen to commemorate the birth anniversary of independent India's first education minister, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was born on November 11, 1888. We celebrate the legacy of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad and his contribution to Indian education system. Next is contribution of Maulana Azad in education. He played a major role in keeping the movement of education alive in the country and insisted the students and all Muslims of India to learn Devangri and Hindi scripts. He believed that for independent India, proper education policy is more important than the industrial policy. Being the first education minister of independent India, his focus of attention was to reinforce and democratize the education system. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad set up some important boards commission during his tenure that includes the University Grants Commission, All India Council for Technical Education, Kharagpur Institute of Higher Education, the University Education Commission, the Secondary Education Commission. Azad advocated education for women and free compulsory primary education for children up to the age of 14. Next is how did the need of national education arise in India? Need of national education arise in India due to the lack of basic education like morality and uniqueness among people. Explanation: people in India unaware of basic education of morality and uniqueness. People must work on the contribution of the country. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Good. Very good, Aparna. Now, Arpita.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Good afternoon, teachers and my dear friends. National Education Day. Every year since 2008, November 11 is celebrated as Education Day to commemorate the birth anniversary of Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad. Azad was independent India's first education minister. Azad, a freedom fighter, served India in the capacity of Minister of Education from 1947 to 1958. He is known for making several significant contributions in the field of education. National Education Day History. On 11 September 2008, the Ministry of Human Resource Development announced to commemorate the birth of the great person by recalling the contribution of Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad in the field of education by celebrating 11 November as National Education Day. Since 2008, every year in India, National Education Day is celebrated without declaring it a holiday. According to Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, schools are the laboratories that produce future citizens of the country. He is the person behind IITs and various other institutions in India. Now let us see in detail about Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad. He was a freedom fighter, journalist, and reformer, and committed to building our nation through education. He was a leader of the Indian National Congress and elected as President of Congress in 1923 and 1940. He was awarded Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian honor, in 1992. In 1912, he started the publication weekly namely Al Hilal to attack the policies of the British government and also focus on the problem faced by India's at that time. After gaining the independence, he was appointed as India's first Minister of Education and he was also inducted in the Constitutional Assembly to draft India's constitution. In his tenure, various measures were taken to improve and to promote primary and secondary education. He also focused on scientific education, established several universities, and promoted the avenue of research and higher studies. He worked for free education in India and wrote several poems in Urdu. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Um, Arunima,
Yes, ma'am. May I start?
yes.
Ma'am, please can you enable the screen sharing, ma'am?
Just a moment. Yes, I've done it.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, is it visible?
Yes.
Good afternoon, teachers. Today I'm going to present my presentation on National Education Day. National Education Day, which is celebrated across the country every year on just a second. On November 11th, to commemorate the birth anniversary of India's first education minister, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad. On this day, various programs and campaigns are organized to spread awareness about education and make every person literate. Rallies are also held to spread the importance of education. This year, National Education Day aims at making people aware of the importance of education and literacy. As the day will be celebrated tomorrow, a lot of people have been wondering about the National Education Day history, significance, and how the day will be celebrated. For all the people who are curious about it, here is everything you need to know about it. The National Education Day program was inaugurated online due to the pandemic by the Union Education Minister Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank at the Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. The program was organized by the IIT Bombay to commemorate the birth anniversary of India's first education minister, Abul Kalam Azad, which is also celebrated as the National Education Day or Rashtriya Shiksha Divas every year on 11th November. Moving on, the life of Maulana Kalam Azad. National Education Day is celebrated across the country every year, as we all know, on November 11 to commemorate the birth anniversary of India's first education minister, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad served the country from 1947 to 1958 as the first Minister of Education in Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's cabinet. A reformer and the freedom fighter, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was not merely a scholar but committed to building of the nation through education. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was the man behind the IITs and many key institutes in the country. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad or Maulana Sayyid Abul Kalam Ghulam Mahyuddin Ahmad bin Khairuddin Al Husseini Azad was born on November 11, 1888, as the first education minister of a free India, responsible for setting up of the Central Institution of Education in Delhi. This later came to be known as the Department of Education under the University of Delhi. He is known for making several significant contributions in the field of education. Some educational institutions established by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad are as follows. On 28 December 1953, he established the University Grants Commission. Moving on, he had established IISC and School of Architecture and Planning. In 1953, he established Sangeet Natak Academy. In 1954, he founded Sahitya Academy and Lalit Kala Academy. In 1951, he established the Indian Institute of Technology. He also played a crucial role in the development of the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and the faculty of the Delhi University. Early life of Maulana Azad. His father was a Bengali Muslim of Afghan origin and a scholar. His mother was the daughter of a rich Arabian sheikh. When he was young, his family moved back to India and Calcutta, and there he received a traditional education at home from his father and other Islamic scholars. He was influenced by the Indian educator Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, and he learned English without his father's knowledge. He learned Arabic, Persian, Urdu, philosophy, mathematics, geometry, and algebra. When he was 11, when he was 11 years old, his mother passed away. At the age of 13, he was married to young Zulekha Begum. He was a freedom fighter, journalist, and reformer, and committed to building a nation through education. He was a leader of the Indian National Congress and elected as the president of Congress in 1923 and 1940. He was awarded Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian honor, in 1992. In 1912, he started the publication weekly, namely Al Hilal, to attack the policies of the British government, also focus on the problems faced by Indians at that time. After gaining independence, he was appointed as India's first Minister of Education, and he was also inducted in the Constituent Assembly to draft India's constitution. In his tenure, various measures were taken to improve and to promote primary and secondary education. He also focused on scientific education, established several universities, and promoted the avenues of research and higher studies. National Education Day slogans. First one is by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Every individual has a right to an education that will enable him to develop his faculties and live a full human life. Secondly, you have to dream before your dreams can come true. Moving on, education imparted by heart can bring revolution in the society. Thirdly, climbing on the top demands strength, whether it is to the top of Mount Everest or to the top of your career. As a child of God, I am greater than anything that can happen to me. Slavery is worst even if it bears beautiful names. To succeed in your mission, you must have single minded devotion to your goal. Thank you, teachers.
Thank you, Arunima. Next is Diksha.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, teachers and my dear classmates. On the occasion of National Education Day, I'm going to present a PowerPoint presentation. National Education Day is celebrated on 11th November every year. Schools, colleges, and other educational institutes observe National Education Day by organizing seminars, essay writing competitions, elocution competitions, workshops, and rallies with banners, cards, and slogans on the importance of education and the nation's commitment to all aspects of education. But this year, due to pandemic, all the celebrations have been moved online. It is celebrated to commemorate the birth anniversary of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, who was the first Minister of Education of independent India. A reformer and freedom fighter, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was not only a scholar but was committed to building a nation with education. The Ministry of Human Resource Development in 2008 decided to celebrate his birth anniversary as National Education Day for his contribution to the cause of education in India. As chairman of the Central Advisory Board of Education, he gave further causes like adult literacy, universal primary education, free and compulsory education for all children up to the age of 14, and educating girls. As India's first Minister of Education, he insisted on the importance of educating the rural poor and girls. Azad strongly advocated for the education of women. He emphasized the importance of imparting instruction in modern sciences and knowledge. He also said that no program of national education can be appropriate if it does not give full consideration to the education and advancement of one half of the society, that is, the women. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad said that we must not for a moment forget it is a birthright of every individual to receive at least the basic education without which he cannot fully discharge his duties as a citizen. We all know how important he was in the setting up of Jamia Millia Islamia, but he was also instrumental in setting up Central Institute of Education, and the first IIT was also established under his leadership. He also laid the foundation for University Grants Commission and helped develop institutes like IISc Bangalore and Faculty of Technology Delhi University. He contributed a lot in strengthening secularism in India. He desired that common values of all the religions should be taught to students so that they do not develop prejudices against each other. Secularism, according to Azad, was not in confining religion to observances of certain rituals within home, but in religion inspiring followers to live righteous path and seeking guidance of Almighty and understanding what that right path is. He entered Indian National Congress in 1920 and he supported the non-cooperation movement started by Gandhiji. He was elected as its youngest president at the age of 35. He was honored in 1992 by giving Bharat Ratna posthumously for his contributions toward education in India and freedom fighting. Jawaharlal Nehru rightly referred to him as Mere Karma, the Karma leader, and he said, and I quote, "A very brave and gallant gentleman, a finished product of culture that in these days pertains to few." Thank you, ma'am.
Well done, Diksha. Now, Anisha and Anjali could not do earlier. Anisha, are you ready to present now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes, Anisha, it's visible. Well done, Anisha. Now, is Angelina ready?
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Sorry, Anjali.
Anjali,
Yes,
Anjali.
yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Every year on 11th of November, India celebrates National Education Day. It is celebrated on the birth anniversary of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, the first education minister of India. Maulana Azad was born in Mecca in 1888. His father was a scholar from Delhi who moved to Mecca during Sepoy Mutiny. After returning to India in 1890 with his family, Azad was homeschooled. He mastered several languages including Urdu, Hindi, Persian, Bengali, Arabic, and English. At the age of 12, Maulana Azad was running a library, a reading room, and a debating society. At 14, he was teaching a class of students twice his age, and by 16, he was publishing a poetical journal and was editor of a weekly. He was married at the age of 13 to a young Muslim girl, Zulekha Begum. He rose to prominence as a journalist criticizing the British Raj and supporting Indian nationalism. Later, he became the leader of Khilafat movement, which brought in close contact with Mahatma Gandhi. During this period, Azad became an enthusiastic supporter of Gandhi's ideas of non-violent civil disobedience and worked to organize the non-cooperation movement in protest of the 1919 Rowlatt Acts. He became the youngest person to serve as the president of Indian National Congress at the age of 35. Azad was the most prominent Muslim leader to oppose the creation of Pakistan. Azad remained a close confidant, supporter, and advisor to Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. Under his leadership, the first Indian Institute of Technology was established along with the University Grants Commission. He also laid emphasis on the development of Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and the Faculty of Technology of the Delhi University. He founded the Sangeet Natak Academy in 1953, Sahitya Academy and Lalit Kala Academy in 1954 to promote education and culture in the country. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad served the country from 47 to 58 as the first Minister of Education in Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's cabinet. He died due to a heart attack on 22 February 58. Numerous institutions across India have been named in his honor. Some of them are Maulana Azad Medical College in New Delhi, Maulana Azad National Institute of Technology in Bhopal, Maulana Azad National Urdu University in Hyderabad, Maulana Azad Center for Elementary and Social Education, Maulana Azad College, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad Institute of Asian Studies, and Maulana Abul Kalam Azad University of Technology in Kolkata, Maulana Azad Library in Aligarh Muslim University in Aligarh, and Maulana Azad Stadium in Jammu. His residence is now Maulana Azad Museum. In 1992, he was posthumously awarded the Bharat Ratna for his contribution as a freedom fighter and educationist.
Very good effort, Anjali. Very nice.
Thank you, ma'am.
All of you presented very well. And yes, all of you did very well today. So we'll end today's program now. Tomorrow, next 10 girls, please be ready with your presentations tomorrow at the same time, that is 12 o'clock, and with the same link. Okay. Okay, girls, now you can leave the meeting. Thank you for your presentations.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.